I think the Christians are very sober about this. The Christians don't have so many of these prohibitions. And maybe this we can thank Jesus Christ for it. I don't have much more to say because it is so clear. But let me just conclude. If we don't like a kind of food, well and good. But if we say this is prohibited in Islam without authorization from the Quran, we are defying Allah Himself. It's a terrible responsibility. That's all I have to say on this.
Just to add a few points to this, Satan pushes us to, when Satan fails to stop you from believing in God, then he pushes you further into more restrictions and more prohibitions and more hard work until you become sick and tired of religion and just can't take it anymore. There was a list in American Muslim journals about prohibitions that are just extensive. And they are all made from Hadith, and Sunnah, sources other than the Quran. Where you can't brush your hair with certain brushes because they're made of pig hair. You can't brush your teeth. You can't wear hushpuppies because they're made. Yeah, you cannot wear hushpuppies. They're made of skin, pig skin.
The MSA has a whole list of soap that you're not supposed
Right,
to use.
there's certain soaps.
Ivory soap, my favorite brand. I was worried I wasn't being a good Muslim because I like ivory soap.
Now God tells us that when you start prohibiting things like this, then He will deprive you. Now the community with the most prohibitions is India. And if you ask the average person where is the poorest place on earth, they'll tell you it is India. And it is because of all the prohibitions. Now God gave us the cattle and the sheep and these things. Their purpose of life is to be slaughtered and eaten. And you fulfill the purpose of their creation when you eat them, actually. And in the appendix about prohibitions, I started out with the example that if you invite some dear friends to your place, and you go through the effort of cooking a great meal, then they come in and then they turn their noses up. How will you feel about it? So I would ask you to turn to page 185. Where you can see the consequences of prohibiting what God permits you. Verse 112 says, do not prohibit lawful foods. God cites the example of a community that enjoyed peace and security with abundant provisions from everywhere. Then they prohibited some of God's givings, and consequently, God afflicted them with hunger and fear. And this is exactly what happened in India. This is what happens in Pakistan, in Egypt. Why are they? Because of their prohibitions. And this is what God is telling us. He prohibits things. We say, okay, so you don't want my provision? All right, I'm not going to give you provision. It's God's law. This country is probably the richest country on earth because they eat everything. They change the name of pigs to dogs and eat hot dogs, eat them. So they eat everything.
Mixed together. God knows what else is in them too.
Yeah, chemicals, nitrites. But it is a gross sin to prohibit things that are allowed to you. And poverty is one result of prohibiting things that God has given you. I mean, this goes to ridiculous lengths. Like our friends who came here and they wanted milk, but they wanted with vitamin D2, but not D3, or vice versa. Yeah, they go read the ingredients from the milk cartons. If it says D2, that's haram. D3, it's okay. I mean, it's just too much. This is real life story. Huh?
If you take vitamins that are made with gelatin capsules, you have to be careful because sometimes it's like real animals.
Yeah, but it is not meat.
No, I don't mean us. I mean sometimes the
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Working on it or something like that, or what's the-
Well, whatever. Yeah, probably.
gelatin
They're-
is meat. It's making horses' hoofs. Yeah.
Even if it's made from big hoof, it's underwent all kinds of chemical changes, and it's not meat of pigs.
They have at least about like this, about 10 pages of products in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Toothpaste, soap, all kinds of things that you are supposed to avoid.
There are a few other things that I wanted to touch on here. Let's see. Anyway, the Quran lists exactly 4 things that are prohibited. Anything beyond that is okay. The 4 things are animals that die of themselves. And in Surah 5 are given details, like even if the animal falls from height or gored to death, there's something wrong with that animal, possibly. So animals that die of themselves without interference from humans are prohibited. Pork, meat. Specifically meat. Running blood. And the 4th thing is animals dedicated to other than God, because we have to mention the name of God if you do the slaughtering yourself, because you are taking permission from the creator of this animal to end the life of this animal. Now, if you dedicate it to Saint Jude or Saint Francis, you're saying that Saint Francis is the creator of this chicken or sheep.
What about all store-bought meat that hasn't been dedicated to anybody?
That's fine.
That doesn't matter.
See, okay, what's the words of the Quran? The words of the Quran are very clear in saying dedicated to other than God. So the question is the meat in Safeway or Lucky's dedicated to other than God? Yes or no?
Most of it's commercially processed and it's shot usually with a bullet.
Right. In other words, it is not dedicated to other than God.
Only been dedicated to Mammon, the God of money.
Yes,
It was not dedicated to anything.
The man made money.
involved, you cannot be dedicated.
But
The labor involved, you cannot be dedicated.
you mean there's no labor?
No. If you shot, kill, cut, and piece to the piece and you sell it, there's a labor involved. It's not a dedication.
There's a human being. No, dedication means I killed this animal in the name
Yeah, exactly.
or
But
for
if
Saint
you
Francis.
say- If you say...
If we mention any name other than God,
Right.
then it is dedicated to other than God. Therefore it is haram. These are the 4 prohibitions.
You said, I don't see the little Safeway.
That's haram. Yes.
I don't think they say anything when they do it.
No, they don't.
But,
Yes.
I mean, since the person don't even know that, since you don't even buy, when you buy meat, you wouldn't even know if it was dedicated to God, not even know it's dedicated to. So it seems it's,
But it didn't say.
it doesn't say at the time of the killing either, really. It just says the dedication to the meat itself. It doesn't.
Dedicated to an idol.
I think the problem was more serious at the time of the Quran was revealed, because there were a lot of people who did dedicate
Well, they do it
animals to
now.
idols. But
They do it now in my hometown.
But in this
They
country,
dedicate
where
it to the same.
in this country where food is just a commercial process, it's
Yeah.
not such a serious
No.
thing to think about.
No,
but
but
I'm
it's
saying
perfectly
is,
all right. Yeah.
The idea of dedication has to be some kind of killing.
Yeah, religious, some kind of religious ritual or pronouncing some sacred words or something like that over the slaughter.
Can you what? Yes. Well, that's why it is. No, you're supposed, when you start eating, you're supposed to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. When you start anything, you're supposed to start in the name of God. When you start eating, make it a habit. When you start your car, you start your meal, say Bismillah. How can you get a ticket if you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim when you start the car?
Dr. Khalifa,
Yeah.
I would like to tell 2 points. There are countries
They collect the blood and cook it. They cook the blood, make the meal out.
Don't have blood sausage or something?
And so as long as those bloods are cooked, according to Islam, there is no restriction.
Yes, there is. You cannot eat it. No.
It's not a running blood, you collect the blood.
That's it. It's running blood. You take it and cook it. You can take the pig and cook it. It's not.
It just says blood. It just says
They
blood.
become cooked pig.
No, because you know when you look the same when you cook the meat, blood runs down the bottom of the pan, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you stick all that stuff in with the gravy. It doesn't.
But that was trapped blood.
It's running. They ran out of meat. It's running.
Don't eat it.
It's the same as in blood sausage. It's just blood that came out.
No, he said they collect the blood.
Yeah,
If you collect the blood in a pot or a cup or something, that's running blood. But if it is trapped in meat, there's nothing you can do about it. It's okay.
But there are Islamic countries that eat blood.
What? Yeah. They also don't pray.
They pray.
And they follow Hadith.
I don't know whether they are following Hadith or not. I don't know. And what kind of...
A lot of them are atheists, you know.
The country that right below Libya.
Chad.
Nigeria, Chad, and all those countries. And Ethiopia, Somalia.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right.
There's a
Doesn't
lot of
make it right.
animism in that area. A lot of animal worship.
just mean like blood, like drinking or something like that. You know, that's when I say running blood, it's like blood sausage. It's not running blood.
Yes, it is initially.
You don't say running big meat.
Well, it was running initially.
No, if that blood existed, if that blood existed at any stage in a pot or a cup, you can pour it. Then you cannot do anything with it. You cannot consume it.
What is black sausage?
I don't know. Sausage? If you hit blood, it will coagulate. But
But is all the ingredients with blood?
okay, let's not split hairs on this. Righteousness defined. Okay, Jahan. Righteousness defined. 177.
Righteousness is not the turning of the faces to the east or the west, but righteousness is keeping God, the last day, the angels, and the scriptures, and the prophets, to donate the money despite one's love thereof, the relatives, the orphans, the women, the alien, the beggars, free the slaves, and to observe the salat and the Sabbath. The promises that are made and to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, hardship, and war. These are the two complete
Right. Okay, Iman, you want to take the next one?
However, if the guilty is charged by the victim's kin, then gracious response is in order, and equitable compensation shall be offered. This is leniency in the Lord and mercy. Whoever transgresseth henceforth will suffer painful retribution. The good one shall be a life-saving law, only to his peaceful death intelligence, which leads to his salvation. My understanding of this basically is that if someone is murdered,